All right. Looks like we're live. It's been a little bit since I've gone live, so I know it's going to take people a minute to get in here. If we get 5 people in here, I'll just chill with 5 people. Looks like we got 1. But we already know how this draft is going to go at the top. Chicago is definitely taking Caleb Williams. I mean, he's already been basically a member of their team for about a couple months now. I mean, Keenan Allen was at his pro day. It's one of those things where you already know he's on their team. So Caleb Williams is number 1, as we've all thought he would be for like the last 2 years now, 2 or 3 years now. He's going first. It's all but written in stone that Jaden Daniels is going second. If he didn't, it'd be a surprise. Now it is frustrating because, of course, I got Jaden Daniels over this right shoulder, and I'm an LSU fan, and I'm not gonna like Jaden Daniels being in Washington. But it is what it is. I can't root against him, really. But at the same time, I can't root for him while he's on the football team or the Commanders or whatever their flavor of the year is. So Jaden Daniels is definitely going to be going number 2 though, and that's what it looks like. Maybe they surprise you and take Drake May, but I think it's Jaden Daniels, and he gets to number 3. And the Giants have been talking to they've been talking to the Patriots, and the Vikings, I think, have been talking to the Patriots, and they're both trying to trade up to get to that number 3 pick to take Drake May. It looks like the Patriots also want to take Drake May, so the Giants would have to blow them out of the water for them to get that pick. Like you're talking like the starting point for that is going to be this year's first, this year's second, next year's first, and I think next year's third or something like that. And then you're going to have to add more things to that because I'm sure Minnesota is already willing to give that. And then you have to also think like New England might just want to stay there and take him because they think that he's their guy. So not really sure. If we make it past pick 3, I think the Giants aren't going to be trading up, and they'll take their player at 6, and it'll be either Malik Neighbors. I don't think Romo Dunze is in play. I just don't see it. I think it may be Malik Neighbors, or and maybe it's some crazy way that Marvin Harrison Jr. is there. I doubt it. If he's there, they definitely take him. But maybe there's some way that he's there, but probably not. So it'll be either Malik Neighbors, it'll be J.J. McCarthy, or it'll be Michael Penix Jr. And that's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm thinking the Giants will leave with one of, I think, 4 players. So Drake May, if they trade up, J.J. McCarthy, Malik Neighbors, and Michael Penix Jr. In the meantime, I got something to sip on because the Giants are going to give us something to stress about. There hasn't been a stream that I've been on that they haven't stressed this out. So this time I got something to help us out a little bit. And yeah, I mean, I'm thinking we're going to get our guy, though. I'm thinking we're going to get our guy. I wonder if people are commenting. If so, I can't see it. So I'm going to take a look at the YouTube chat. And let's see. Okay, good. We don't have any comments, so my StreamYard isn't acting crazy. But yeah, it looks like, again, Caleb Williams is going to be going 1. First 2 picks are in play, and then you're really going to start to be paying attention to what's going on as we get to the 3rd pick. What's going on, Silent Chris? He says, "What's up, Typo Diggy? Miss watching your vids. Glad we're back for another season." Yeah, I've been a little slow with the videos. I've been having stuff going on. I wanted to, of course, put out a lot more draft content. I'm coming into this draft. I have a general idea of where I want to go, and of course some of the positions we need. But as far as like players like fourth, fifth, sixth round, I'm not as up to date on those players this year, which is why you didn't see me put out a mock draft. I've been busy with a lot of other stuff, but nonetheless, I'm still excited about this draft because I know at the top of the draft I want a quarterback. Some other people want a wide receiver. Almost nobody wants Joe Alt because we just brought in a couple of guys that can play tackle. They're going to give Evan Neal one more shot to play tackle. They'll probably move him to guard if he can't do that this offseason. Here we go with this dramatic. It's 8:07. The draft starts at 8, and it's 8:07. And we don't have not one pick is made yet. This is the type of stuff that we have to deal with as NFL fans. It's just not one pick has been made yet, and we're at 8:07. They're going to continue to stress this stuff out as quick. I mean, as far as they possibly can. The thing is, Silent Chris, if you think you can get a quarterback that you think is a game changer, like a quarterback that can uplift the franchise, you don't pass on that dude for a wide receiver. Because just think about it. Justin Jefferson's the best wide receiver in the game. But if you look at the last 5 or 6 drafts, every year you're getting a top wide receiver out of the draft. You're pretty much every year. This year you have an opportunity outside the top 5 to be able to get a franchise level quarterback or trade up and get a franchise quarterback. But you say you don't want Penix. Yeah. I mean, I doubt they would trade up for Penix. I think he's a guy that you take at 6. A lot of people are saying let's trade back to 10 and take Michael Penix Jr. But I'm like, what's the point of doing that? If you like a quarterback and you would want to take him at 10, then you might as well take him at 6 because someone else could easily trade up in front of you. And I can understand not wanting Michael Penix. He's had injuries in the past. He's a little bit older, but he's probably, I mean, as far as pure talent, as far as who I think, like who I'm the most sure about, I would say Caleb Williams is number 1. And then you have Jaden Daniels number 2, me being an LSU guy. And I just think Jaden Daniels is going to hit the ground running. I hate that it's going to be in Washington. I can't stand that it's going to be in Washington. I just hate because either Jaden Daniels is going to get to the Commanders, and me, like I said, as a Jaden Daniels and LSU fan, he's going to get to the Commanders, and he's going to get there, and he's going to light the world on fire and be like the biggest thing, and I'm just going to be annoyed that he's on the Commanders. Or he's going to get there, and the Commanders are going to do what they always do, which is destroy their franchise quarterback. Destroy guys with franchise quarterback talent. And it looks like, I hope that doesn't happen for his sake, but I just hate to see it because neither is fun for me. Yeah, I mean, would I be mad if we took Romo Dunze? No, but do I think he's better than Malik Neighbors? I just don't think so. I think Malik Neighbors is a lot more well-rounded. I think that Romo Dunze is more of like a big play catch kind of guy. Not to say he can't do the other stuff, but I think he's a better big play catch kind of guy. And you look at the rest of their games, Malik Neighbors blows them out of the water route running, blows them out of the water with some of the short area stuff, and even after the catch stuff, in my opinion. But would I be mad if we took him over Malik Neighbors? A little bit, but I wouldn't be saying like, oh, that's a bad pick, because it's a solid pick. He's definitely well worth that talent. Which is why, like a couple of months ago, people were saying Romo Dunze was going to be like a second round prospect or a late first round prospect, and I'm like, there's no way. Amon-Ra St. Brown just got his contract. They got Calvin Johnson out there. They got Barry Sanders out there. Eminem is out there. Aiden Hutchinson is out there. You got Jared Goff about to give a speech or whatever. So they got the whole Detroit Lions faithful out there. They don't even have the first pick, but they are in Detroit. So there you go for that. But I'd like to hear an actual pick because you're at 8-11 right now. And I would like to see like the first top 6. Like we might get to the Giants pick at 6 and be at 9:30. We literally might be at 9:30 when the Giants pick at 6. But that's the problem, Silent Chris, is DJ doesn't throw those. He doesn't throw those big catches. He just doesn't do it. That's the issue with him. Like that's the big problem is that Daniel Jones doesn't take those risks. He's got a sample size big enough at this point to where you're going to be wasting that wide receiver. If you want a wide receiver is going to come in and help Daniel Jones, I think that's Malik Neighbors because he's going to be a guy that's wide open that Daniel Jones can throw the ball to. But as far as like knowing that your guy is better than the other guy and throwing it up to him, Daniel Jones has proven consistently that he won't do that. Daniel Jones has seen Jalen Hyatt behind the defense and won't throw him the ball and like pump fake. So it's tragic at the quarterback position for me. So if we go out and get Malik Neighbors or Rome Odunze, don't expect the Giants to eclipse 20 points a game because I don't think that we're going to be able to get anything going as long as we have this dude playing quarterback, unless he completely changes his approach to the game. And we've been going at this for, every year but his rookie year, he's been scared to take risks. And then if he does start to take risks, is he going to start fumbling again every other play? So, man, I would love for Daniel Jones to succeed, especially since he's on the hook for $40 million a year. But it just doesn't seem like that makes sense. Yeah. And then Kenny Golladay got here. We were all excited because people said Daniel Jones leads the league in deep ball percentage. Daniel Jones has the highest quarterback rating throwing the ball deep. Have y'all ever considered that he threw the ball deep less than anybody else in the league when guys were so wide open that of course he had a high completion percentage. So they were all saying that, and Kenny Golladay got here and lost Kenny Galladay's career got ended playing with Daniel Jones. Now, was part of that because Kenny Golladay was getting older and his hip was bad? Yes. But that first year he was here, he was a little bit in better shape. And he just didn't get any 50-50 balls thrown to him until like the end of the year, where Kenny Golladay was having that bad body language and he's flailing around and he doesn't care. He's not really attacking the ball. But at the beginning of that season, he didn't get those chances. Same thing with Darren Waller. He didn't look for Darren Waller down the stretch. And yes, Darren Waller was hurt. Yeah, of course. Like he was hurt. And that's not Daniel Jones' fault. But when he was here, he wasn't being aggressive to try to get the ball to a guy. And it's like, yeah, you don't want to force it to somebody and have turnovers, but you also want to be able to score some points. What's going on, Vinny? Yeah, I would say like in that first year, he probably threw it to Kenny Golladay maybe 4 times deep contested. A couple of times it just sailed completely over his head. A couple of times Kenny Golladay just wasn't able to come down with it, but it's a 50-50 ball for a reason. Yeah, and then Kenny Golladay against the Eagles goes over top of Darius Slay and comes down with the ball, but it wasn't enough. And like I said, his career's over. Same thing with Kyle Rudolph. Red zone target, red zone nightmare his entire career. Comes to the Giants, and all of a sudden he doesn't get in. The guy is 6'7". You would think in the red zone, 6'7", you got a corner on you or a safety on you. You would think that Daniel Jones might just throw the ball up and let the 6'7" tight end that was making touchdown catches behind his back and behind his neck with one hand. You would think that Daniel Jones would give that guy a shot, but no for Kyle Rudolph too. So he's had a long track record of this. And I'm just ready to see something new, man. I'm ready to see something new. We cannot continue with this guy at quarterback and say that we're putting out a good product. I am why are the Bears on the clock, man? Like the Bears, the clock is running down from 10 minutes. You got 6 minutes left. The Bears are taking Caleb Williams. The Bears have known that they were taking Caleb Williams since they secured the first overall pick. If you want to say they didn't know that, then they've known that they're taking Caleb Williams since they traded Justin Fields almost a month ago. So why does it take them 4 minutes to make a pick? Exactly. This is exactly what I was just saying. I didn't even see Max's comment. Like Caleb Williams is the pick. What do you like? They're just all sitting in there, like just smiling, talking to Caleb Williams. They've been talking to him for 5 minutes on the phone, and this is why we got to come prepared. This is why we got to come prepared. They got to make the phone call and tell them no. Yeah, yeah, but they've been on that phone for a while. They probably were asking like, "Yeah, how's the family? We just saw you all yesterday. How was the food yesterday? Did you like the car that I sent you? Did you like the house that I picked out for your parents?" That's probably what they're talking about. All the stuff that they've been talking about for the last 5 months or whatever, 2 3 months, whatever. Whenever February or whenever they got that first pick, they already have known that they were taking Caleb Williams. I remember that pipe dream when we were like, maybe they'll stay with Justin Fields. And at that point, like, listen, I'm giving away this year's first round pick. I'm giving away the second pick. I'm giving away next year's first. I'm giving away the first after next year. I would have done that to move up to one to take Caleb Williams, but it's not going to happen. Not going to happen. What's going on, Patrick? So, Silent Chris wants Romo Dunze. Who are you all thinking? Are you all thinking quarterback? I'm quarterback all the way. I would take any one of these top 5 quarterbacks in this draft. So that includes Caleb Williams. Obviously, he's gone. Jaden Daniels, Drake May, Michael Penix, JJ McCarthy. Any one of those top 5, I'm good. I'm excited. I'm happy that we got a quarterback. Like, I'm happy. So, like, I don't have any issue with any one of these top 5 quarterbacks being our pick. I don't have an issue with Malik Neighbors being the pick, but I would prefer us to take a quarterback. If we do take Malik Neighbors, I want them to be very aggressive to try to move up as high as they can to try to get someone. I think Penix is going to be gone, but maybe you take Bo Nix or maybe I don't know what you do at that point, but I think that this is the perfect opportunity to get a quarterback because who knows what you do next year. Maybe Daniel Jones is just as good as he was last year and you win 7-8 games. You're going to be in the same situation. You're not going to be able to get that quarterback that you want. You got to think Deion's son is coming out next year. Shador is going to come out next year, so he'll probably be that first pick. You won't have the first pick. The Giants just won't have that first pick. They're always going to find a way to win enough games to where they're not the first or second pick. The coaching is, actually, the coaching is too good. We won some games just because we had better coaches and better players. And a lot of people were saying Tommy DeVito did it, but the defense, the lines of scrimmage were just better in some of these games. Not to say that we're just some powerhouse, but we were better football teams in those games that we won down the stretch. And we competed with a lot of playoff teams this year without a quarterback. When we literally had no threat of throwing in the ball, literally, because we had Tommy DeVito in there and he wouldn't throw the ball down more than 5 yards. We were competitive. So the roster and the team was just too good. And you got to think with Brian Burns getting added, with new offensive lineman, with the new offensive line coach, we're not going to be picking number one. We're not going to be doing that next year. Caleb Williams, big surprise. Oh my God. I would have never thought they'd take Caleb Williams. I'm glad they had enough time to really review all of their options and then go ahead and grab Caleb Williams and say that was the right pick. Like, I'm glad they took the time to review all their options. And then my NFL network stream freezes as soon as they take Caleb Williams. Yeah, we'll see if they can get up to that number 3 pick. If they can get up to that 3rd pick, you already know what the pick is. It's going to be Drake May. I think the Cardinals will just sit there and just take Marvin Harrison Jr. Marvin Harrison Jr. kind of reminds me of Larry Fitzgerald, to be honest with you. Like they're really similar, as in like they're boring players, but they also have like that A+. They're boring, they're efficient, but they can also make those big plays. And people don't even think about those big plays that Larry Fitzgerald made. Like Larry Fitzgerald made some exciting plays, but when you think of Larry Fitzgerald, you don't think about like him celebrating a touchdown. You don't think about something that he said. You don't think about anything too crazy. You think about solid, reliable player, and not even solid, like elite, reliable player, catches everything over the middle, catches everything thrown at him, doesn't let his team down, leader on the team, high character. I think that's what Marvin Harrison Jr. kind of reminds me of. So it's funny that he'll probably be going to the Cardinals. Caleb Williams, 6'1" and 1/8, 214. Short guy. I don't want him on the Giants anyway. Yeah, Larry Fitzgerald is perfect comparison, like to Tim Duncan. Like saying Tim Duncan is boring, he's not boring because he's like an all-time great player, but he's also like you don't remember like, oh, remember when Tim Duncan like you do as far as like plays that he made, but you all get what I'm saying. He's not that guy that like you go because of his personality or anything extra. It's like pure basketball. That's what you're going to see with Tim Duncan. With football, that's what you're going to see is pure football dealing with Larry Fitzgerald. Not that many guys like that who are all-time greats who don't have that like that like emotion, that like streak of passion. There's not that many guys who were that level of elite that don't have that streak of emotion. Like it's really hard to find that. That's why like you start to think of Larry Fitzgerald and you start to think of Tim Duncan, and I think you'll start to see Marvin Harrison Jr. in that mold. Because I mean, let's think. I mean, you could say Eli Manning, but Eli Manning wasn't really a guy. First of all, people remember Eli Manning's faces. He's a Manning. He has funny sound bites after he's retired. Even before that, he hosted Saturday Night Live. So a little bit more entertaining. But as far as Larry Fitzgerald, like, what do you think of when you think of Larry Fitzgerald? You think of a guy that just catches the football. Like he just catches the ball. And it's not going to hit the ground. And it's like that. There's not many guys in that mold. And I'm sure if you talk to Larry Fitzgerald, he's probably like the most competitive dude and fiery, but you don't see it in the public. I don't care about what Caleb Williams has to say about the Bears. Wish him nothing but the best. But I'm ready for y'all to make this next pick, Washington. We know it's Jaden Daniels, so go ahead and make the pick. I'm hoping that the Falcons do something cool though, because first off, I'm in Atlanta, so I might look into some games, and then second of all, the Falcons are playing the Giants this year, and I'm pretty sure it'll be in Atlanta. So if they can get somebody exciting, not to, like they got Kirk Cousins, they got all of those weapons. He's been working with them. Yeah, he's been doing whatever. Like let's cut the extra stuff. Like Caleb Williams has been doing. He's been a bear since Justin Fields has left the team. Like 100%, no doubt at all. Like imagine if the Bears went out there and took Marvin Harrison Jr. right now. Like people would be completely shocked. But Washington has 2 minutes left on the clock. They've allowed 30.5 points per game in 2023. I didn't not realize they were worse in the league. But they're not taking defense here. They're going to take Jaden Daniels. And I'm so annoyed, man. I'm so annoyed about that. I'm so annoyed that they take Jaden. Like, why do you need Jaden Daniels on your team, man? Like, why does it have to be Jaden? Why does it have to be Jaden? I'm looking for my Jaden Daniels his LSU card. I got his LSU card here, but I don't see it right now. But why do you have to take Jaden Daniels and send him to Washington, man? Maybe it's Drake May. I would love that. If it was Drake May, I would absolutely love that because that means I can continue to root for Jaden Daniels and he's not going to get his career ruined. Yeah, if we would have lost all those games, we'd be picking number 2. But again, like I said, our team was just better than those teams we played against. We honestly just were better. That's the thing that stinks. I think we would have beat them with all 3 quarterbacks we had. All they had to do was not mess it up. I mean, that defense was playing lights out, which is funny that Wink is gone. But also, that defense never really stood out. 2019, Dwayne Haskins and Montez Sweat. Rest in peace to Dwayne Haskins. Montez Sweat is gone. So in 2019, they don't have any picks that are first rounders that are still on the team. They're not showing the 2020 picks yet, but I'm pretty sure they've had some pretty rough first round picks the last couple of years. Like I think they took like Jahan Dotson. They took a couple of just picks. Oh man, I just don't. Not Jaden Daniels. Oh no. Oh man. It stinks to see Jaden Daniels go, man. Like, and then I'm conflicted too because, like, man, I did not want to see Jaden Daniels, and like I don't want to have to root against Jaden Daniels, man. I did not want to have to root against Jaden Daniels. Like I did not want to have to root against Jaden Daniels, but I got to. Like that just stinks for me, man. But that dude is good. Like that dude is a dog, man. Like I think if anybody's going to turn the Commanders around, it's going to be Jaden Daniels. He's already the third best quarterback. Without stepping on the field, he's the third best quarterback in NFC East. Oh man, that hurts. That hurts. That hurts. Oh, I got to take another drink. Oh, that hurts. I had to take a drink on that one. Oh no, Jaden Daniels on. Oh no. Oh no. Oh man. Yeah, I hate to see this, man. I hate to see it. Jaden Daniels got to LSU from ASU, and I was arguing with ASU fans for days on Twitter, just like Jaden Daniels is going to be the truth. He's going to get to LSU, and he's going to just make stuff happen. And ASU fans were like, "Come on, man, this dude stinks." And he got to LSU. I mean, in the shadow of Joe Burrow, even though Burrow was gone for a little while, but he got to LSU and started off kind of rough. I was kind of annoyed with him. He wasn't getting Kayshon Boutte the ball, but he got a nice connection with Malik Neighbors. And first year was solid. I'm like, okay, Jaden Daniels is probably like a second, third round quarterback, which is good because before that he'd be like a sixth, seventh round guy. But down the stretch, as Jaden is like, the Alabama game really stood out to me. We lost that game, but he really showed up. Like he really showed up. He was not scared of the moment. He looked like he was the best player on the field in that Bama game. So after that, I'm like, this dude is the truth, man. Like all of these big plays he's making, like this is legit. And I think he's gonna be good, man. And it just stinks that it's in Washington. And I just hope that Washington doesn't like destroy this dude's career because they've done it with RG3. I think RG3 is a much better player if he doesn't go to Washington. I think Jason Campbell would have been a much better player. So, man, it stinks. Yeah, I mean, if we don't trade up to number 3, yeah, Drake May is number 3 to the Patriots. Man, yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, if we could have gotten the last 4 Heisman guys, Winston, Mariota, Williams, Daniels. Yeah. Um, Yeah, it looks like the pick is in. So Drake May is going to the Patriots. I'm 99% sure this pick is going to be Drake May. And this is crazy that like we're in a draft where all these quarterbacks are going at the top. Like all these quarterbacks are going at the top. Like it's crazy. But 13 points per game the Patriots were. That's crazy. That's on but like that's basically like New York Giant football right there. Where we're at like 17 points per game. We can still trade up maybe and get Harrison. Other than that, you got to think we're getting Rome or Neighbors. Yeah, I mean, I think they'll either it's gonna be Rome, it's gonna be Neighbors, or it's gonna be one of the two quarterbacks. We've seen a lot of stuff about JJ McCarthy. We've seen a lot about Michael Penix Jr. The Giants could be interested in either one of them, but the best player that's going to be on that board for me is going to be Malik Neighbors. And then if you're thinking of the quarterbacks, I'm comfortable with either one. If you want a guy that you think could have that really super high ceiling, that's a little bit more athletic as far as like full package athlete, not just straight line speed. Because Michael Penix obviously shows you he could run a 4.46, but just full package kind of athlete. I think JJ McCarthy is a little bit more athletic, a little bit more untapped potential that you haven't seen. And Drake May just went to the Patriots. Oh, another kick in the stomach. All my liquor's gonna be gone. So we're 3 picks in, and it's almost gonna be gone. But yeah, pretty much. I forgot what I was saying because that just threw me off so much. But I was gonna say, yeah, Penix I think is a little bit more refined. I think he's gonna be a good player quicker, and he's just got that rocket arm, and he's not scared. He's a good leader in my opinion. So I'm comfortable with either one of those quarterbacks. But I would have loved to get a guy like Drake May or Caleb Williams or Jaden Daniels. I think the Giants could have very easily been at that number 2 pick, and we won a couple of games down the stretch. And like I said, I'm not mad about that. Do I wish we had lost some of those games? Probably, but I'm not mad about that because at the end of the day, I do think that we won those games because we were just better than those teams, and that's just how it happens. That's just what happens in the NFL. Because by that logic, they'd be only a team that went to the Super Bowl, and every other team will be trying to tank. So it just is what it is at that point. But yeah, Drake May's off the board. Drake May is off the board. Good luck to Gerard Mayo and that staff there. They got a lot to overhaul. I mean, with Drake May, they got a lot. They got a lot to make sure to put around him. Bill Belichick has ignored the wide receiver position for years. I mean, this dude hates wide receivers. He hates giving his quarterback tools. So hopefully, Gerard Mayo can give. Is that Ben McAdoo there? Look at Ben McAdoo. I know that ain't who I think it is. That was Ben McAdoo. That was Ben McAdoo. That's crazy, man. That was Ben McAdoo in there. Do you, hopefully Ben McAdoo does something good when I'm guessing he's the quarterback coach. Ben McAdoo, man. Daniel Jones gonna ruin Neighbors. Yeah, yeah, that's already known, man. Like all that's gonna happen is Malik Neighbors is gonna get here. He's gonna be upset because Daniel Jones is gonna be throwing the ball behind him. Malik Neighbors is gonna do the good old receiver, throw his hands up. He's gonna be walking all around upset, and then you know it's just gonna be a disaster. But I'm here for it. See if I can get this focus right here. There we go. A little bit better focus. A lot better focus, it looks like. But Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to go here. This is exactly how we thought the draft would kind of go if there were no trades. We were assuming that there might be a trade at 3 or 4, but the pick is in here, and it's going to be Marvin Harrison Jr. Nobody's surprised here. The Chargers could probably look at taking Malik Neighbors, but Romo Dunze is a good fit for them because they have a guy that's going to get him the football. So it's going to be one of those wide receivers. It could be Joe Alt, but if I had to bet, I would think it would be. I think it would be Malik Neighbors if I had to bet. Only because I'm an LSU fan and we can't never get any LSU players on the team. So I would say it'd be Malik Neighbors that they're going to take. Like Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to be a pick here. Roger Goodell is taking his time, taking his sweet time coming out there. It doesn't look like there's going to be any trades before that Giants pick. So at least we're going to have our picks next year from when we have to use it to move up and take a quarterback. I mean, this is the most boring draft ever. The most boring. Like we could have predicted this draft like years ago. Like this draft is going exactly how people thought it would go. I wonder if Marvin Harrison Jr.'s dad, obviously Marvin Harrison Sr. I wonder if he like purposely didn't show up or purposely isn't standing in front of the camera to make sure his son gets shine. I wonder if that's what's going on because I didn't see them showing. Oh, there he is, right there. There's Marvin Harrison. Okay, so yeah, he was just standing elsewhere. It's part of some NFL stuff. He said they're just going to tell us. Yeah, because we know where they're going to go. Are you serious? If they take Joe Alt, that's the type of if they take Joe Alt, the little bit of alcohol I have left in my cup is going to be gone. That's all I can say. Because why would you? If they take Joe Alt, I'm going to lose it. And again, like I said, it's already gone. My cup was up to here when we started. It's all the way down to here, and we are not even to the Giants pick yet. And this is the draft. Like this is supposed to be fun, and oh boy, I really hope that the Chargers take Joe Alt now because I'm gonna lose it. We better not take Joe Alt. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I should have just brought the whole bottle up here with me. Should have just done that. So Pat Leonard is saying we may take a. Oh man, Give me JJ McCarthy or one of these guys. If they take Malik Neighbors off the board, for me, it's quarterback 100%. Like for me, it's all day quarterback at that point because I'm not really invested in anybody else at that point. I think quarterback makes the most sense. Romo Dunze is a good player, but I don't think he's a guy that's such a game changer wide receiver that you take him over a quarterback, even if you have that quarterback slightly rated below him. Yeah, I'm not finding that tweet about Pat Leonard. I'm not seeing anything on Pat Leonard's account talking about a tackle. So hopefully that's just fake news because that is not what I want to see today. Big fluid route runner catch radius for Marvin Harrison Jr. Marvin Harrison Jr. also has some speed too, man. Like he has the whole package. Posted a few minutes ago. Maybe it's a reply to a tweet. Let's see. Yeah, I don't see it. I see a Drake made it to the Patriots tweet from him. I see. Oh, I see it here. Yep. Could be either an offensive tackle or wide receiver. Yeah, I see it now. Yeah, we better not take Joe Alt. I mean, like this is the one time where I'm like, the Giants better not take Joe Alt. And imagine if Joe Alt is like this Hall of Fame tackle. I would rather a quarterback. Yeah, yeah. I found the tweet though, Max. Um, I don't want Joe Alt on the team. I mean, it doesn't matter if you get Joe Alt, if you get Rashawn Slater, if you get. It doesn't matter who you get back there blocking. At the end of the day, this dude that we got playing quarterback doesn't throw anybody the football. He's not aggressive. He's not sure of himself. He pump fakes and double clutches all the time. He's not effective. I mean, if you take a look at the Giants' points per game, let's look at it. Giants point per game by year. Let's just take a look at his body of work. So, looking at 2020, and this is Daniel Jones' second year, 17.5 points per game, and then 15.2 points per game, and then 21.5 points per game. That got him paid $40 million at 21 points per game. And then 15 points per game. And with Daniel Jones, I'm pretty sure it was less than 15 points a game. So at the end of the day, if you can't get to 20 points a game on a regular basis, how do you expect to win football games? Unless you have an all-time great defense or your defense is playing out of their mind. How do you expect to win football games if you can't score 20 points per game? How do you expect to win football games when your quarterback can't even average a touchdown per game? It's just really frustrating, man. Like, we should not have to sit through this any longer. And at this point, Quentin Nelson is kind of falling off. He would have been a wasted career for us. I completely agree. I think we probably should have taken Quentin Nelson if you can go back and rewind things. But also, they didn't have the quarterback right. So that contributes to everything. So we would have had Quentin Nelson. Maybe that extends Eli's career. I don't know. But Quentin Nelson is kind of falling off at this point. And Saquon Barkley just left the Giants. So at that point, it's not helpful either way. But maybe if we did take a guy like Quentin Nelson and then Nick Chubb second round, that probably does help us out a little bit more with Eli Manning at that point with Quentin Nelson in 2018. Yeah, probably helps us a little bit. Yeah, he could rebound. He could definitely rebound. I know Dexter Lawrence took that dude to task, man. Like Dexter Lawrence literally ate that dude's lunch. We need a receiver, but we need a quarterback first. Again, I'm not going to be upset if we pass on, or maybe I might be. I won't know how I feel until we actually make the pick. But I would rather us take a quarterback. If this pick right here is Malik Neighbors, then I'm all in on the Giants taking a quarterback. So I think what I'm going to do here also is go ahead and hit start recording for OBS to record my reaction video as I'm streaming. So I'll be talking. I might even reference the chat. So I'm going to just keep it going, but I'm going to go ahead and hit record. So what's going on YouTube, Diggy546? Right now, the Chargers pick is in. And I'm thinking they're going to take Malik Neighbors. And if they do take Malik Neighbors, then I'm 100% into taking a guy like J.J. McCarthy or taking a guy like Michael Penix Jr. at 6 with our pick. Or maybe they trade it away. But I'm thinking that you take your best option at that point is getting a quarterback. Because Malik Neighbors, to me, is the best player on the board. And after that, you kind of fall off. Now, Joe Alt could be the pick here, as Roger Goodell's about to read it. The 5th pick. Okay, so they took Joe Alt. Okay, so that leaves Malik Neighbors on the board for the New York Giants. So I don't want the Giants not to take a quarterback, but if they do pass on a quarterback, Malik Neighbors is the guy that I wanted to be there for us at 6. So Malik Neighbors could very well be the pick here. Now, I got my chat running right now. Greeny Green is in the chat. Shout out to Greeny. He's spitting facts. Daniel Jones is not going to get Malik Neighbors the football the way he needs to get the football. But I do think that Malik Neighbors stands a better chance of working with Daniel Jones than Romo Dunze will. Because Malik Neighbors, let me scoot to the side real quick so you can see that 8 in that LSU jersey. Malik Neighbors is a guy that's going to make things happen. He's going to be open often. So he's a guy that is going to make things happen. Excuse me. So I would rather take a quarterback, but if we don't take a quarterback, Malik Neighbors is the guy I want to take. But I really don't think that Joe Shane likes Daniel Jones. I really don't. I don't think so. I kind of see through it. I'm kind of seeing through it. You know, like I think Joe Shane says one thing about Daniel Jones, and he's kind of yapping over here about Daniel Jones, but at the same time, he's not thinking that on the other side. I just don't think so. So I would love Malik Neighbors. I would, man, like as an LSU fan, I would love Malik Neighbors. But I'm kind of excited to see a new quarterback in here. I'm really excited to see that. And if we don't take that quarterback here, there's not much. I mean, Bo Nix is probably going to be gone in the 2nd round. We're going to have to trade up for that. There's not much there. Like, we're going to take Spencer Rattler and hope he can get something done. I just don't think that is going to be your best shot at success. Now, either you're going to take a quarterback here, or you're going to move forward with Daniel Jones and Drew Lock and take a quarterback once you realize, oh, we need a quarterback next year in the draft. Brock Bowers, Silent Chris in the chat is saying Brock Bowers could be here. We better not take Brock Bowers. Taking a tight end at 6 when you don't have a quarterback is outrageous, in my opinion. You pay wide receivers $28 million in some cases. So, I can deal with that. And I think Malik Neighbors is going to be a superstar wide receiver. And Joe Shane is on that phone right now. Yeah, Rattler would be better. Rattler would be definitely better than Daniel Jones. But Joe Shane is on the phone right now. And again, as I was telling the chat, listen, this cup at 8 o'clock at the beginning of the draft was up to here. Now it's all the way down to here. Like, it's all the way down to here because the picks so far have stressed me out so much that I've already gone through the whole cup. Like, it's crazy stuff, man. Look at license plate guy at the draft. Dude shows up to everything. Dude shows up to everything. It's going to be J.J. McCarthy, Michael Penix, or Malik Neighbors. It's going to be one of those three because the pick is in. The Giants average 15.7 points per game. I was just reading to the chat. You look at Daniel Jones' tenure as a Giant. I won't even count his rookie year. His second year, 17.5. Third year, 15.2. Fourth year, 21.5. That got him paid $40 million, averaging 21.5 points a game. And then 15 points per game. I was part of the mob. I was on the Daniel Jones bandwagon. I wanted to pay him, but I was wrong. He's not that guy. And we need a guy that can get the football to these playmakers so we can put up more than 20 points per game. Like, we got to get a guy that can throw for 20. I guarantee you, if we take a quarterback right now, he's going to throw for more touchdowns than Daniel Jones did his entire career. So Roger Goodell is making his slow walk out to the stage, walking past the Bud Light sign. I know some people don't like Bud Light. Giant selection is in. Let's turn up the audio. Or maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I'll get copyrighted. The New York Giants select. Malik Neighbors is the pick. I'm excited. But I'm also disappointed. Listen, Malik Neighbors is not a bad pick at all right here. It's not a bad pick at all. And I'm really excited because as an LSU fan, I've been wanting to get an LSU wide receiver on the team. And I'm excited about that aspect of it. But at the same time, I would have loved to see a quarterback. But this is a number one wide receiver. Malik Neighbors, day one, it's just like I'm getting excited. Folks. I'm getting excited. Let me take another sip. Listen. Malik Neighbors, day one, is going to be the best wide receiver that we've seen in blue since number 13 left. And I'm not talking about Jalen Hyatt, and I'm not talking about Dante Pettis. Malik Neighbors is going to be the best Giants wide receiver we've seen on that football field since number 13 left. And that's by far. Like, he's going to get on that field, and we're going to see some plays being made that we have not been seeing get made in a long time at the wide receiver position. I'm talking about screens. I'm talking about 9 routes. I'm talking about deep posts. I'm talking about comebacks. I'm talking about slants to the house, to the crib. I'm talking about he's going to be making big plays all over the field. Somebody in the chat, Maximus, shout out to you, is saying Neighbors was 1B wide receiver in the draft. And that very well could be true. Like, Malik Neighbors could very well be a better wide receiver in the NFL than Marvin Harrison Jr. It's possible. So I'm not mad because he's that level of a player, but I really wonder who's going to be throwing him the football. And I hope it's not Daniel Jones. Hopefully we have something going on here and the football guys are going to help us out. And Michael Penix Jr. is just going to slide a little bit too far down that draft board. And Michael Penix Jr. is going to be a guy that slides to 22 and the Giants trade up and get him. I'm hoping that happens because I don't want to see Bo Nix out there. I don't want to see Spencer Rattler out there. And I definitely don't want to see Daniel Jones throwing him the ball. But whoever is going to be throwing Malik Neighbors the ball, he's going to be making plays with it. 14 touchdowns last year for him. That's almost as much as your franchise quarterback that we paid $40 million to. But it is a great feeling. It is a great feeling to have this LSU quarterback on the New York Giants right here. LSU, not quarterback. LSU wide receiver on the New York Giants because I've been waiting a little while. I wanted us to trade up and get Jamar Chase. I wanted Justin Jefferson. But we got Malik Neighbors, and I think he has a chance in the NFL to be just as good as these other guys. I just want to. I'm hoping that he can actually have a decent career, and that Daniel Jones doesn't screw this up. I'm really hoping that he doesn't screw this up. They're comparing him to DJ Moore. I mean, I guess, but I think he's going to be better than DJ Moore is, and DJ Moore is a good player. But I think he's going to be even better. I mean, he's good after the catch. He's electric. He's strong. He's good at the line of scrimmage. I just put up a video maybe about a month ago or a month and a half ago on Malik Neighbors, just covering everything that he does. I'll probably do another quick video on him, but Malik Neighbors is going to be a good player for us. I don't think. Shout out, we got Cattle Dog in the chat. I'm not saying that I think Malik Neighbors is going to be better than Marvin Harrison Jr. I'd be surprised for that, but I also wouldn't be surprised. Basically, what I'm saying. So Nick's what I just said. I wouldn't be surprised if he ended up having a better career than Marvin Harrison Jr. But if you ask me right now, who do I think is going to be having a better career? It would still be Marvin Harrison Jr. because that dude is a machine. Like, I have not seen college tape like Marvin Harrison Jr. ever. Like, I've never seen a college wide receiver look on tape, like not just highlights, but on tape as good as Marvin Harrison Jr. But for now, I'm satisfied with the pick because this was a huge need that the Giants have not been able to address for years. We haven't been able to get that number one wide receiver, and I think we finally got him. But we do need, in the worst way, a quarterback. Please get me a quarterback. Get me a quarterback, Joe Shane. Give me a quarterback. Like that's all I want. I just want a quarterback. Yeah, I don't know why NFL Network gave Marvin Harrison. He doesn't have any flaws in his game. He doesn't have any flaws in his game whatsoever. I don't know where my notes are for these prospects, but I'm pretty sure I said, like, I forgot what I put as his weakness because he doesn't really have any holes in his game. So an 88 is crazy. That's a B+ for an A+ prospect. Marvin Harrison coming in, leading 3-ship. Malik coming into the Giants to help fix certain problems in the offense. That's the difference. Yeah, I mean, Marvin will probably have a better career because he's going to have Kyler Murray starting off. I'm telling you, Malik Neighbors is going to be out there flailing around. He's going to be upset because the ball's going to be behind him. I mean, oh, man. Oh, boy. That's why I'm thinking, like, we got to get – but I guarantee you, Malik Neighbors, even with all of the times that Daniel Jones is going to not get him the football, I would say that he's still going to make some huge plays for us. I can definitely see that happening. Harrison's weakness probably will be his strength. I don't know. I don't think he's really at – I don't really see that. I mean, I see him pretty strong at the point of contact, to be honest with you. Let's see if I can find it. My prospect notes. Yeah, I can't find it, but I'm pretty sure I didn't have much down for weaknesses for Marvin Harrison Jr. If we don't get a quarterback, he's going to be asking for it. I already read that. Going to have to with no Saquon. Yeah, he's going to have to make some plays. Saquon's going to be gone. We got Devin Motor Singletary. I'm not worried about Saquon leaving, but we need a quarterback. Like this is just going to frustrate me that Washington just took Jaden Daniels in his draft, and he's already better than what we have at under center. Like he's already the third best quarterback in the NFC East. And that just frustrates me. That just really frustrates me. I disagree. I mean, I think Malik Harrison, not Malik Harrison. I think and Malik Harrison is a real player. What is he, a linebacker? But I think Malik Neighbors is going to I think he's going to open things up for Jalen Hyatt some more. Not that Daniel Jones will even throw him the ball deep. Maybe Drew Lock is going to be the guy for us. Maybe all these weapons will make Drew Lock look good. Because once you add in Malik Neighbors, it's going to open things up for I was going to say Kadarius Toney. Where's my mind? Malik Neighbors is going to open things up for Jalen Hyatt. He's going to open things up for Wan'Dale Robinson. and he's going to open things up for Devin Singletary. So we say this all the time, but I think Malik Neighbors being inserted there is going to open things up at least for those two wide receivers. Now, will they all get the ball? That's the question. And JC Latham, the Tennessee Titans kind of reach right there. If I'm the Tennessee Titans, I would take a quarterback there. That's just me because I don't believe in Will Levis at all. I don't have any faith that Will Levis is going to be a good player. Uh, I'm pretty sure. I mean, when did he get drafted? 2 years ago now? Let's take a look at it. So this is his second year coming up. I guess you can't give up on him at that point. They took him in the second round. So, hey, 1,800 yards, 8 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. They gotta let him. They gotta let him ride a little bit. So they're just gonna give him another chance. But go ahead, JC Latham. Go ahead and take him. Yeah, it'd be nice to have that pick, but also it'd be nice to have Brian Burns. I'm not gonna lie to you. I will take Brian Burns for a second round pick every time. Every single time I would take Brian Burns for a second round pick. Yeah, but Wandale, I think is a really good player. And I think especially he picked up Raj Goodell. I think especially with Malik Neighbors being added, I think that's going to make those other two guys a lot better. Darius Slayton is making noise about wanting a deal, but if he does not get a new deal, or if he whatever happens with Darius Slayton, if he's on the team, he's going to have a lot more opportunities because at that point he'll be like, "What's your third option? Maybe your fourth option." So um, Malik Neighbors is gonna make all those guys better. And we can say blah blah blah. It didn't work with Kenny Galladay. It didn't work with, but Malik Neighbors I think is a bona fide number one wide receiver. You said what are the Falcons doing? Um, are you saying you just don't have any idea, or did they already make their pick and I'm behind? If you're saying they already made their pick, I don't see it. But if you're saying what are they going to actually do, I think they're going to take one of these edge rushers or they're going to take Michael Penix Jr. I think it's going to be one of those options. Either they're going to take Dallas Turner, the Falcons. Okay, so you're just probably on Twitter. Let's see. Like I said, I'm invested in the Falcons because I can go down the street and watch them play. So if they made a stupid pick, that kind of affects my entertainment if I wanted to go in and see a game. Yeah, the Falcons took Michael Penix Jr. I'd love to see that. You love to see that. I knew they were going to take him. I knew they were going to take him. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. You got Kirk Cousins. He's going to be gone soon. He's going to be gone soon after this year. You got Michael Penix coming out. I'm behind probably a lot more on 8, but more than 8 seconds. If you all are seeing the Penix pick, then I'm behind at least 4 minutes. But you hear the pick before I react to it. Yeah, I mean I'm watching on an NFL Network stream, so the stream could be behind. I'm also watching on NFL Plus and NFL Network. I guess Bill Belichick is going to be the Giants coach next year. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure how long I'll stay on here. Do I see myself staying on until the 20s? Probably not. I don't really have much interest after this. After these, I mean, don't really have much interest, but I will stay on here just to hang out. Um, yeah, the Falcons took Michael Penix Jr. Um, I like that pick. I really like that pick. I really like that pick for them because I'm thinking that I'm thinking that he's gonna basically be their starter after this next year. Now he is older, so it's like you don't want him to sit, but he's gonna learn from Kirk Cousins. Cousins is a dealer. He's got a 4-year, $180 million contract with $100 million guaranteed. So are they gonna make Michael Penix at what? How old is Michael Penix? Let's see, because I'm pretty sure he's like 25 now or 24 at least. Let's see. Michael Penix is 23, about to turn 24. So if he sits for 2 years, he'll be 26. Michael Penix will be 26 when he takes over. If they move on from Kirk Cousins after 2 years, I don't think that's bad. I don't think that's too bad. Um, so it'll be 26 starting off, probably like the same age as Jordan Love. But listen, Atlanta is going to love Michael Penix Jr. I'm definitely going to be going down, seeing some Falcons games with Penix because it's going to be a movie. Because they got the wide receivers, they got the weapons. Um, it's going to be exciting. So Jordan Love took over at 24, and you're absolutely right, Greeny. We could have took, and this is what people told me. We can trade back to 12. We can trade back to 11, and we can get Michael Penix. We can do it. Like we're not doing that. Like, come on now. But Michael Penix is probably going to take the reins when he's 26. They got Joe Flacco as a comp. Joe Flacco did have a rocket arm. Um, I think he's a little bit more dynamic than Joe Flacco as far as like making some of those big time throws. Not that Joe Flacco didn't, but I think he just does that at a higher rate than Joe Flacco. Yeah, the injuries scare me, but I would have still taken him at 6. But I am happy with Malik Neighbors. I think that was the best player on the board, so you can't be mad at that. But I would have rather wanted a quarterback. Just being honest with you. Yeah, I mean Kirk Cousins is. I mean, there's no one else probably in the league as far as vet quarterbacks that you would want to learn from because Kirk Cousins he's done it all. I mean, you can even learn from Kirk Cousins as far as negotiating and getting paid. Um, that's a good match. But with his age, he probably does want to play a little bit sooner. But it just is what it is. At 26, he can get about 12 years out of that position. Maybe even in 12, 15 years, he can be 40 years old playing too. So you never know. But I think that's a good situation for him. I think him not being rushed into it, him having a couple years off, that way he's probably really going to be able to heal from whatever kind of injury he has. Probably doesn't have anything really big, but he's going to be able to heal. And I'm going to go ahead and see if I can edit this video while I'm streaming. Hopefully my computer doesn't go haywire. Hopefully the computer doesn't go haywire. Okay. Let's see. Ignoring the audio you might hear popping up. And I was so excited about the Malik Neighbors thing that I forgot. I forgot. I forgot to play the soundbite. I had a whole soundbite queued up in case we took Malik Neighbors, and I forgot it. I had Hank Hill singing us a song. Screaming, scratching, yelling, but the neighbors know my name. I had a whole thing. I had a whole thing queued up, and I forgot to play it. But yeah, Malik Neighbors is on the squad. Malik Neighbors is on the squad. You got to love that. But at the same time, man, like could have had a quarterback. Conflicted. But you will hear that sound bite a bunch on this channel. I've like had that sound bite in my head for years. Like if the Giants take Malik Neighbors, like we're going crazy with it. We're getting real inappropriate. We're gonna be playing. We're gonna be playing. The Neighbors Know My Name every time Malik Neighbors catches a pass. If Kayshawn Booty got on the team, you already know. You already know it would have gone even crazier. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, but I like the Falcons pick. The Bears pick is in at 9, and the Bears can take Odunze. Oh yeah, I just like what the Bears just did. I just like what they threw together. Romo Dunze and Caleb Williams, and man, I like that. I like that. I like that. And DJ Moore, I like that. The Bears are building a nice squad around Caleb already. Like the wide receiver core he has is much better than what Justin Fields had most of his time there. But that's just how it goes. The timeline didn't match up. Didn't match up for Justin Fields. Like you got to make sure your team doesn't have that first overall pick, or you could be gone, dude. Like he's on the Steelers, and they're already not picking up his options. So, I mean, life can come at you quick. That's really it, man. Like that's the thing about things, man. Like you got to make sure your team doesn't get that number one pick, which is what I was saying a couple of years ago. I was like, if Daniel Jones plays the Giants into a number one pick, like, what do you expect them to do? We would have had Trevor Lawrence on his team, and I'm not even sure that would have worked out well because Trevor Lawrence is not looking too good. he's having some struggles. All right, gonna hit that export. So, like I said, hopefully my computer doesn't throw a fit. I got to throw that soundbite in there somewhere. Ignore the, ignore me talking. I'm not even gonna throw the soundbite in there. Y'all will hear it eventually. But I'm kind of sick that I didn't throw that soundbite in there when we took Malik Neighbors. But I kind of figured that's what we would take, man. Like, man. Penix and Rome back to back is something UW. Yeah, yeah, like yeah, definitely. Okay, so Minnesota's on the clock. JJ McCarthy is something to watch here. Yeah, Keenan Allen is there too. He got a squad. Caleb has a squad, man. Caleb got a squad. Caleb has a squad right there. That's a nice squad right there. And that's how rookie quarterbacks succeed. Caleb Williams is gonna go out there with that triple threat right there, and he's gonna do numbers. He's gonna do numbers. That's just how it goes. And meanwhile, you got guys that's gonna come out there and they're not gonna be throwing anything. And maybe that's what the Giants felt like, but you still got to get that guy. Still got to get that guy. But I'm thinking that this pick right here is going to be JJ McCarthy. They traded up to get this player, so it's going to be JJ McCarthy, and I'm sure the Vikings are going to be very, very, very happy with this pick. They got their quarterback going forward. JJ McCarthy is not going to have to move far from being in Michigan. He's going to go over to Minnesota and I think he's going to be good there. He's going to have Justin Jefferson. He's going to come on, man. Like he's going to have the guys. He's going to have Justin Jefferson. He's going to have Jordan Addison to throw the ball to. So I think these guys are a perfect match. I think that's a perfect match there. This is the first time ever that 5 quarterbacks are going to go in the top 10. Ain't that something? That's something right here. 5 quarterbacks in the top 10. I think I just heard Rich Eisen say that this is the first time ever that 5 quarterbacks have gone in the top 10. I'm going to sign off pretty soon because I probably will do another quick film session on Malik Neighbors. Or maybe I should just change my title too. Let's see. Because I know people are going to start to flow in. Let's see what I can get here. Let's see. Yeah, my last video was Malik Neighbors. So here's my computer going haywire. All right, so I did a little title updating. So that part is taken care of. Now it's just up to making a thumbnail for this vid that I recorded. But how are you all feeling about that pick? Because it seems like no one's really too mad, like angry about that pick. But at the same time, like I'm sure some of us, like Greeny, would have expected a quarterback. I don't think it's the worst depth chart ever. I've seen some horrible ones. I don't think it's the worst ever. Remember last year, Josh Dobbs coming into that year was like an absolute joke, and he was like the number 1 quarterback for the Cardinals. But the Giants definitely needed the number 1 wide receiver, and I think we got one. So that part is solved. But again, the quarterback situation is still in flux. We're going to be looking to see are we going to get a guy in the 2nd round? Are we going to get a guy in the 3rd round? Tomorrow's going to be a huge day. We're not going to have to be looking for a wide receiver, which is good. But tomorrow's going to be a huge day because you're going to have guys like Spencer Rattler. You're going to have guys like Bo Nix will probably be gone. Let's see. I mean, would the Giants take Joe Milton? Not in the 2nd round. Yeah, Spencer Rattler. I mean, maybe Jordan Travis. I mean, I'm not as excited about this 2nd, 3rd wave, these 3rd, 4th wave players. Nothing about these players excites me. So it's probably going to be Daniel Jones. Granny, sadly, like it's going to be Daniel Jones. And like that's what it's going to be. And that means that we can start to hypothesize who's the Giants' head coach is going to be for 2025. We can try to figure that out because it's not going to be Brian Dable, and the general manager isn't going to be Joe Shane. Because after winning another 4 or 5 games, Yeah, it's not going to be fun. Folks aren't going to want to go to games when the offense can't do anything because your quarterback stinks. It's just that simple. It's unfortunate because we all like Daniel Jones as a person. Most of us do, but as a quarterback, he's just not getting it done. And it's unfortunate that we couldn't get him out of here this time. We tried to move up to 3, so I mean there was an effort to do it, but probably not as much as at least Joe Shane and Brian Dable would have wanted. And there goes JJ McCarthy to the Vikings. Let's see. We can throw this thumbnail together. If we don't draft a quarterback, yeah. Pretty much what I've already kind of recapped. It is what it is right here, man. Like we're basically at this point. I've accepted at this point that the Giants depth chart is going to be Daniel Jones and Drew Lock, and that's our quarterback situation for 2024. 2025, they'll probably try to be a little bit more aggressive, but there's no promises. There's no promises that we're going to be able to get anything next year either. So it's probably going to be some more free agency jazz. And like I said, Brian Dable's probably gone just because Daniel Jones is not a quarterback that you can win with. So that'll be Daniel Jones' third coach that he got fired, and he'll be on the way out too after this year. Just throwing this thumbnail together. We got the heavyweight champion of the world. Woo! We got him in the chat. What's going on? Hopefully I didn't blow y'all's ears out. I'm sure y'all aren't used to me yelling, so hopefully I didn't blow your ears out. But we got the heavyweight champion in the chat. Every once in a while I gotta show him some love. Like I said, I'm throwing this thumbnail together. I think all of these players are going to be better. All of these quarterbacks are going to be better than Daniel Jones. I'm not sure where our quarterback is going to come from because, again, I don't think we'll be picking number 1 next year. But who knows, man? Maybe we give up the horse and carriage. Maybe one of these teams that just took a quarterback are horrible next year, and we just end up trading up with them and getting that first pick. But I doubt it. I highly doubt it. I think we're going to be in this situation for a while because we decided to move forward with Daniel Jones. But at the same time, I'm happy about Malik Neighbors. But at the same time, I'm annoyed about Daniel Jones. Imagine if the guy just showed up and played quarterback and stopped playing scared. Probably be to make some noise. Is year 6 going to be the breakout season? Is year 6 going to be a season where Daniel Jones steps up and shows everybody that he's the guy? I mean, how long do we have to put up with this, folks? Maybe year 6 is it, though. Maybe year 6 is it. But again, like JJ McCarthy's walking into another beautiful situation. Caleb Williams is walking into a great situation. And I mean, I'm kind of jealous, man. Like, I don't even play quarterback, but those guys are walking into a great situation there as far as offensively. Michael Penix Jr. is too. This is gonna be Brock Bowers probably for the Jets. Like this is the most boring draft, man. Oh, they took Olu. Okay, so the Jets didn't take Brock Bowers. They took Olu. Okay, Olu Fashanu to the Jets. I wasn't expecting that. It's not a surprising pick, but also I was expecting him to go Brock Bowers. But that's a solid because somebody has got to protect Aaron Rodgers. I mean, that long dramatic like thing where he came out and he was holding the flag and 5 seconds in, the dude tears his Achilles because they couldn't protect him. So um, they needed that. They needed that probably more than anything else. So good on them for addressing the offensive line. I think Olu, I probably like better than most of these linemen in this draft. To keep it real with you, I think that he can be the best offensive lineman in this draft. Okay, let's see. Throwing up this video. Let's see. I mean, like I said, I am honestly excited to see what Malik Neighbors can do as a Giant, but I'm still kind of bummed that we're not going to have a quarterback to throw in the football to for at least a year. And maybe this dude just revives Daniel Jones' career, and all of a sudden Daniel Jones is an elite quarterback, but I highly doubt it. Um, just a crazy situation because it makes sense, but it doesn't at the same time. If that makes sense, which that doesn't make sense either. Just throwing up some tags for this video, folks. Sorry if I'm missing the chat. Throw that there. Okay. One more step. All right, video is still processing, but got through that whole process. So yeah, I like the Olu pick a lot. I think that makes a lot of sense for the Jets because they needed somebody to protect Aaron Rodgers in the worst way. Like that dude is ancient and he needed protection. Like let's keep it real. Like we got it. We like they could have taken Brock Bowers and that would have been a nice pick. Like he would have gotten the ball to him, but at the same time, you got to protect that dude, man. Like he's too old and he's their only shot. Since Brett Favre stepped out of that building, he's their only shot at a Super Bowl, which is it's just hilarious to me because Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre leaves Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers leaves Green Bay, goes to the Jets, goes to the Jets. So yeah, their only shot at a Super Bowl has involved a former Packers quarterback. Now my video is processing. It'll take 30 minutes to process. And yeah, we need a cornerback because the Trey Hawkins experiment didn't work. And there it goes. You can't afford to take a risk on a guy like Spencer Rattler when you don't have a quarterback. Yeah, I mean, I just don't see where the quarterback is going though. I mean, the only quarterback that I would even consider like a guy that can be a franchise quarterback that's out there right now at least in the short term. I mean, anybody can develop into anything, but the only guy I can kind of think of is Bo Nix, and he's not going to be there in the second round. So then you're looking at Spencer Rattler, and then like I said, do you want to take the risk on Spencer Rattler? Like when you need a starting cornerback, do you want to take the risk on Spencer Rattler because you're not going to start him year one? It's just upsetting, man. Just upsetting. Again, the wide receiver pick makes sense, but it also kind of seals that you're not going to be here next year if you're in the Giants front office. Excuse me. If you're in the Giants front office, um, or if you're Brian Dable, you're gone. Like you're just gone. Yeah, I like TJ Tampa. Um, if we can get that guy, I'm happy. But again, like I said, like the quarterback position is not going to be addressed, and it's going to be more of the same. I'm going to be on this stream commentating. I'm going to be talking about how we can't get into the end zone, and Daniel Jones does this, and he fumbles the ball. Like it's just all the same stuff. It's been the same story for the last 6 years, and we're going to wait for this dude to break out when we give him another option at number one for a target, and he's not going to do anything with it. Um, Looking at Darren Waller, though, it seems like Darren Waller was waiting to see if we would take a quarterback. And if we did, he probably would have come back. But expect to see Darren Waller retire. Expect to see Darren Waller retire now. Like, expect to see that retirement announcement come soon. Bo Nix to the Broncos. So yeah, all the quarterbacks are gone, and that's my point. Like all those people that say, "Oh, we can just take Malik Neighbors at 12, at 6, and we can trade back up into the 20s to take Bo Nix and Michael Penny." No, you can't. Quarterbacks are valuable, folks. Quarterbacks are valuable parts of the team. They're the most important position on the field. You do not go out there without a quarterback. There's a reason that all these quarterbacks went before 15. There's a reason. Like, there's a reason that all these quarterbacks went before 15. It's because it's the most important position on the field. Like, that's it. Like, Bo Nix is the last piece off the board. That's the last guy that could possibly be a franchise quarterback, in my opinion. And like, guys, like, don't expect to see anything significant this year. This is the last year of the Brian Dable era. You're gonna see a lot of the short ball guy throwing tantrums on the sideline. You're gonna see Joe Nix. You're gonna see Joe Shane come out and talk about how he could have done better. Um, it is what it is. I don't think these quarterbacks were reaches. I just think people aren't used to seeing quarterbacks go this high. But I think all of these guys in most drafts are going to go where they went. Now, they just all happen to be in the same draft. They just all happen to be in the same draft. Like, I think Bo Nix. I mean, in most drafts, I mean, Mac Jones went in the teens. So I think Bo Nix is comparable to Mac Jones. I think Michael Penix is a guy that would go in the top 10 in most drafts. I think Caleb Williams obviously goes at the top of the draft in most drafts. I think all of these guys went about where they go. The thing is, they all were in the same draft. And like you're saying that, Sean, but also we have not seen many drafts where guys were this good coming out, this highly touted. We haven't seen many drafts where this many players were expected to be good. Like a lot of times it's like, okay, these two quarterbacks are good, and then the other three, we think they could be the next Patrick Mahomes because they can run around. These guys have all put good football on tape. Like they've all put good football on tape. Um, I think it's possible that all these quarterbacks could be good. Now, Bo Nix is the one guy where I'm like, okay, maybe he's not good. Of course, anybody could not be a good player, but coming out, these six prospects are the best six prospects that I've seen since I've been evaluating the draft. Definitely on YouTube, and even going back to what? Well, let's see. I can't think of a time where I had my top six quarterbacks as high as they are this year. Who's the Raiders QB? I think it's Jimmy Garoppolo. I think so. Maybe. Pretty sure it's Jimmy Garoppolo. Raiders depth chart. Pretty sure it's Jimmy Garoppolo. Aiden O'Connell. Yeah, I'm tripping. Jimmy Garoppolo is gone. Aiden O'Connell is the Raiders quarterback. Had a solid stretch last year. But yeah, I like Brian Dable as a coach. I just don't think that he'll be here after this year, sadly. It's just they decided to hitch their wagon to Daniel Jones, and it's going to be the reason that they aren't here next year. And that's unfortunate because I really believe that if Dable if they had been able to go up and get Drake May, I think that would have been like poetry in motion. I think they would have gotten their guy. I think he would have been effective. I think he would have been a good player here. But they weren't able to get Drake May, and they decided that JJ McCarthy and Michael Penix weren't as good as Malik Neighbors, which I agree. And it is what it is at that point. So since they weren't able to do that, I mean, you got a couple of things that you're gonna have to figure out. And if you're not able to get Daniel Jones to get Malik Neighbors to bring the best out of Daniel Jones, you're going to be on your way out. You have got to find a way to win with Daniel Jones on this team and just coaching this team up. You've got to find a way to win games, to be a playoff contender. Because if you're a bottom dweller, if you're picking top 6, 8, if you're picking top 8 again this year, you're going to be on a super hot seat and you're probably going to be gone, which is really unfortunate. And if that's the truth, I keep seeing this, and at first I believe this, but also I think that there's a little bit of I think there's a little bit overblown. Like I think that John Mara probably told them like, I'd like to see Daniel Jones stay here. Like I'd like to see that. And I think at that point, if your boss gives you something that they'd like to see happen, sometimes that's just not doable. Sometimes it's just not doable. And you have to be the person that says, this is literally why you hire somebody and pay them millions of dollars or pay them however much, because you want them to be able to push back and say, no, I don't think so. I'm actually going to do this. And I think that John Mayer is more open to folks pushing back than people want to say. I really do. I think that these guys are trying to please John Mayer when they should be just telling him what they're going to do and that he's hired them for this job and that's what they're going to do. I really think that if Joe Shane walks in and says, "Listen, John, we're going to draft the best quarterback on our board at 6 because Daniel Jones uh, is not able to produce in this system," it's just not going to happen. I feel like John Mara will be like, "That's unfortunate, but I mean, you have to do what you got to do. That's why you're the general manager," and I wholeheartedly believe that. So if they hitch their wagon to Daniel Jones, they're going to get fired for it. Because at the end of the day, the reason that they're a general manager, the reason that they're in the positions they're in is because he put trust in them to make decisions. And we keep hearing it from former guys. We keep hearing it from all these folks that the Giants give autonomy. So I think these folks are trying to do what they think John Mara wants to see happen, but they're not doing what they're not standing on their decisions. They're not, pushing back. So it is what it is there. But if Brian Dable isn't able to coach his way out of this corner to be like a 7-8 win team, at least, he's gonna be gone. He's gonna be gone. And even then, he may be on the borderline of being gone, even with 7-8 wins. Which is crazy, but you never know. Joe Milton, he has a super rocket arm, but I don't think he's all that good, to be honest with you. I mean, maybe he could be, but we would need a guy to work with Joe Milton for 2-3 years. And we don't have that. They said Kirk Cousins was not given a heads up here. Maybe we trade for Kirk Cousins. Yeah, I would like to see where Jared Verse goes. Maybe he goes here to the Saints. Pick is in here. It's going to take them a little while to get the pick in, and I think I'll probably jump off after this Saints pick because the Giants got their pick in. One thing about us not being good is we get to get our picks out of the way earlier, and I don't have to stay on here because last year I had to stay on here until like 11 o'clock because it took us forever to get to our pick. But when we're picking top 10, I mean, I can check out pretty early. Who's left at quarterback? Yeah, Rattler, Joe Milton, Jordan Travis. Um, I don't like many of those quarterbacks. Those three, I think they have something there. Like maybe they could turn into something, but the quarterbacks that I think could be franchise quarterbacks are all gone. And I really think this is going to be a year where out of these top 6 quarterbacks, I think you're going to have at least 4 that are going to be good quarterbacks in the NFL. Are they all going to be top 3, top 5 quarterbacks? Of course, that's not even how math works. But I think they're all going to be good quarterbacks. I think 4 of the 6 are going to be good quarterbacks. And of course, you can't predict things like injury, but looking at that tape, man, like the tape don't lie. These top 6 quarterbacks are good players. Even Bo Nix, who I'm not as high on as the others, I think he's a good player. So the pick is in, and we're still waiting on the Saints. They're still talking about the Falcons. How Kirk Cousins did not know that they were going to go with Michael Penix Jr. Jalen Hyatt said, "We putting it up this year, no cap." Oh man, I hope Daniel Jones puts the ball up to Jalen Hyatt when he's open. That's what I hope. Yeah, I think Drew Lock is going to get him the ball, man. Talise Fuaga. Okay, so the Saints took a tackle. Folks, I'm going to jump off here. Um, I'm not going to stay on here all night. The Giants did what they're doing. There's no quarterbacks left in the draft that they're going to trade up for in this first round. They'll probably take a guy in the third, fourth round. But it is what it is there. Saints made their pick. You still got your two edge rushers, who I think the best two are on the clock still. Who knows where they'll go? But Giants got a good player, but they didn't get their quarterback, and that's concerning. So that's what I'll leave it with. You guys have a great rest of your night. I think maybe one day we'll be saved from this nightmare, but for now we're stuck with Daniel Jones putting up less than 20 points per game. I'm going completely crazy. Every single day I get less and less interested in this team because of the quarterback play. It's really getting hard at this point. But hopefully Malik Neighbors can bring some life to Daniel Jones or Drew Lock. Maybe Drew Lock gets in there and just sets the world on fire because he's an NFL quarterback, and we have a good receiving core. I think at this point we have a good receiving core. I think you add Malik Neighbors in there. You got two number twos, in my opinion, Wan'Dale Robinson and Jalen Hyatt. Jalen Hyatt is going to continue to develop. So I think that's a good young wide receiver core. And maybe Drew Lock can take advantage of it. But I'm going to jump off of here. Maximus says one thing to be positive is I do love the Giants wide receiver. I love that trio. Definitely. Just like I said. But you guys have a great rest of your night. I will be back on here tomorrow at 7 or maybe 7:15 because you know how this draft goes. But I'll be back here for the second and third round tomorrow. TBD on Saturday, but I will be here tomorrow. You guys have a great rest of your night.